Chapter 5. Hazard. Awareness. Question 1. When should you use hazard warning lights? Answer. When your vehicle has broken down and is causing an obstruction. Question 2. What type of vehicle could you expect to meet in the middle of the road? Answer. Lorry. Question 3. You're about to drive home. What should you do if you feel very tired and have a severe headache? Answer. Wait until you're fit and well before driving. Question 4. How does drinking alcohol affect your driving behavior? Answer. It increases confidence. Question 5. Why should you slow down as you approach this hazard? Answer. Because of the level crossing. Question 6. What might you expect to happen in this situation? Answer. Traffic will move into the left-hand lane. Question 7. What should you do as you approach this cyclist? Answer. Slow down and allow the cyclist to turn. Question 8. When may you use hazard warning lights? Answer. When driving on a motorway to warn traffic behind of a hazard ahead. Question 9. What hazard should you be aware of when traveling along this street? Answer. Children running out between vehicles. Question 10. What must you do if your ability to drive is impaired during a period of illness? Answer. Stop driving until you're fit to drive again. Question 11. Why should the junction on the left be kept clear? Answer. To allow vehicles to enter and emerge. Question 12. You need glasses to read a vehicle number plate at the required distance. When must you wear them? Answer. Whenever you're driving. Question 13. What's the main hazard the driver of the red car arrow should be aware of? Answer. The bus may move out into the road. Question 14. You're driving on a one-way street. What should you do if you realize you've taken the wrong route? Answer. Continue and find another route. Question 15. What should you do if a doctor prescribes drugs that are likely to affect your driving? Answer. Get someone else to drive. Question 16. What's the main hazard you should be aware of when following this cyclist? Answer. The cyclist may swerve into the road. Question 17. You're following a slower moving vehicle. What should you do if there's a junction just ahead on the right? Answer. Only consider overtaking when you're past the junction. Question 18. You've been involved in an argument that's made you feel angry. What should you do before starting your journey? Answer. Calm down. Question 19. What must you do if your eyesight has become very poor and you're no longer able to meet the driver's eyesight requirements? Answer. Tell the driver licensing authority. Question 20. How should you drive or ride in areas with traffic calming measures? Answer. At a reduced speed. Question 21. You're driving towards this level crossing. What would be the first warning of an approaching train? Answer. A steady amber light. Question 22. What should you do if you begin to feel drowsy while you're driving? Answer. Stop and rest as soon as possible. Question 23. Why must you take great care when emerging from this junction? Answer. The view is restricted. Question 24. You're about to drive your car. What should you do if you cannot find the glasses you need to wear? Answer. Find a way of getting home without driving. Question 25. Why should you make allowances for older drivers? Answer. Older drivers' reactions may be slower than other drivers. Question 26. What does the solid white line at the side of the road indicate? Answer. Edge of the carriageway. Question 27. What can seriously reduce your ability to concentrate? Answer. Drugs. Question 28. Why are vehicle mirrors often slightly curved convex? Answer. They give a wider field of vision. Question 29. You're driving on this dual carriageway. Why may you need to slow down? Answer. There are roadworks ahead of you. Question 30. What must you do if poor health affects your driving? Answer. Inform the licensing authority. Question 31. What should you do if you think the driver of the vehicle in front has forgotten to cancel their right indicator? Answer. Stay behind and do not overtake. Question 32. What will become more expensive after you've been convicted of driving While unfit through drink or drugs. Answer: insurance premiums. Question 33. You want to turn left at this junction. What should you do if your view of the main road is restricted? Answer: approach slowly and edge out until you can see more clearly. Question 34. You're driving a car fitted with automatic transmission. When would you use kick down? Answer: to accelerate quickly. Question 35. What should the driver of the red car arrow do? Answer: wait for the pedestrian in the road to cross. Question 36. A driver's behavior has upset you. How can you get over this incident safely? Answer: stop and take a break. Question 37. You've just been overtaken by this motorcyclist. What should you do if the rider cuts in sharply? Answer: keep a safe gap. Question 38. What should you do if the traffic in the left-hand lane is slowing? Answer: slow down, keeping a safe separation distance. Question 39. What type of vehicle displays this yellow sign? Answer: a school bus. Question 40. You intend to turn left at the traffic lights. What should you do just before turning? Answer: check 4 bicycles on your left. Question 41. You're waiting to emerge at a junction. Your view is restricted by parked vehicles. What can help you to see traffic on the road you're joining? Answer: reflections of traffic in windows. Question 42. What will be a serious distraction while you're driving? Answer: looking at road maps. Question 43. You're invited to a pub lunch. What should you do if you know that you'll have to drive in the evening? Answer: do not drink any alcohol at all. Question 44. Some two-way roads are divided into 3 lanes. Why are they particularly dangerous? Answer: traffic in both directions can use the middle lane to overtake. Question 45. What can you do to help prevent tiredness on a long journey? Answer: take regular refreshment breaks. Question 46. Where would it be unsafe to overtake? Answer: approaching a junction. Question 47. What type of vehicle uses an amber flashing beacon on a door carriageway? Answer: a tractor. Question 48. How can drinking alcohol affect your ability to drive or ride? Answer: your ability to judge speed will be reduced. Question 49. What should you do if you become tired while you're driving on a motorway? Answer: leave the motorway at the next exit and rest. Question 50. What should the driver of the grey car be especially aware of? Answer: doors opening on parked cars. Question 51. What should you do if the vehicle starts reversing off the driveway? Answer: sound your horn and be prepared to stop. Question 52. Which type of vehicle should you be ready to give way to as you approach this bridge? Answer: buses. Question 53. You're driving on a road with several lanes. What do these signs above the lanes mean? Answer: the 2 left lanes are open. Question 54. Why should you be cautious when going past this bus waiting at a bus stop? Answer: people may cross the road in front of it. Question 55. You're behind this cyclist. When the traffic lights change, what should you do? Answer: allow the cyclist time and room. Question 56. What must you do at this junction? Answer: stop behind the line, then edge forward to see clearly. Question 57. What should you expect if you see this sign ahead? Answer: the road will bend sharply to the left. Question 58. What should you do about driving if you've been taking medicine that causes drowsiness? Answer: avoid driving and check with your doctor. Question 59. Do you need to plan rest stops when you're planning a long journey? Answer: yes. Regular stops help concentration. Question 60. You take some cough medicine given to you by a friend. What should you do before driving your car? Answer: check the label to see if the medicine will affect your driving. Question 61. What should you do if a driver pulls out of a side road in front of you, causing you to brake hard? Answer: ignore the error and stay calm. Question 62. What should the driver of the car approaching the crossing do? Answer: slow down and get ready to stop. Question 63. You're approaching a crossroads. What should you do if the traffic lights have failed? Answer: be prepared to stop for any traffic. Question 64. What's the main hazard shown in this picture? Answer: the cyclist crossing the road. Question 65. What advice should you give to a driver who has had a few alcoholic drinks at a party? Answer: go home by public transport. Question 66. Where would you expect to see these markers? Answer: on a heavy goods vehicle. Question 67. Why should you reduce your speed here? Answer: a staggered junction is ahead. Question 68. What should you do if it's raining and you're following this lorry on a motorway? Answer: be aware of spray reducing your vision. Question 69. Why should you check the information leaflet before taking any medicine? Answer: some types of medicine can affect your ability to drive safely. Question 70. Which type of glasses would make driving at night more difficult? Answer: tinted. Question 71. What should you do as you approach this overhead bridge? Answer: be prepared to give way to large vehicles in the middle of the road. Question 72. Why are place names painted on the road surface? Answer: to help you select the correct lane in good time. Question 73. What should you do if the red lights start flashing as you approach a level crossing? Answer: stop before the barrier. Question 74. What should you do if you start to feel drowsy while you're driving on a motorway? Answer: open a window and stop as soon as it's safe and legal. Question 75. You're driving towards this left-hand bend. What danger should you be anticipating? Answer: pedestrians walking towards you. Question 76. You're on a 3-lane motorway. How should you overtake a slow-moving lorry in the middle lane if it's showing this sign? Answer: approach with care and overtake on the left of the lorry. Question 77. Which road user has caused a hazard? Answer: the parked car arrower. The car arrower is parked within the area marked by zigzag lines at the pedestrian crossing. Parking here is illegal. Question 78. What does this signal from a police officer mean to oncoming traffic? Answer: stop. Learn fast. Subscribe now.